everyone. Welcome to your Kindest Gnomes video tutorials for the cards for this class. This is a fun fold class, so I hope that you are ready for some just exciting little cards that you're gonna love. So we need the Kindest Gnomes stamp set, of course. For this particular card, I did not use the dies that go with it. I fussy cut the little foxes out. So we're going to get started. So card number 1 is the one with the little foxes. So you want to pull that kit out. All right. So in your kit, you will have your piece of Pool Party cardstock, and this is scored for you at 2 1/8 and 4 1/4. So this is going to be a Z-fold card. Then you're going to need the second piece that's in there is the Cajun Craze, and this one's going to be your 4 by 5 1/4 that goes here on the inside. I did a little mat on that one. And then a 3 3/4 inch by 5 inch piece that'll go on top of that to serve for our inside. Then you'll have the piece of Cajun Craze that is going to be the mat for the front of your card here on that front flap. Then you'll need to cut a piece of the designer series paper that you got with your kit. These are the trees. You're going to want to cut a piece of this that is 1 7/8 by 5 1/8. So make sure you pay attention to which way your trees are going. You're doing these. This paper is definitely directional, so check that out. Then you'll have a circle here from Stylish Shapes, and then another circle that we're going to stamp on that will go here in the center. I went ahead and tied your double bow for you, so that's in there. You'll want to mount the stamp that says Warm Wishes. Get your Cajun Craze ink. Use your pack of gems that I included in your kit. This kit for this class, this is the Fine Sparkle Adhesive Back Dots. Love these, they are so beautiful. You'll need some adhesive, paper pierce or take your pick tool, a bone folder, and your snips. All right, so let's get started. So we're going to start by burnishing the folds on our card base. So just take your bone folder and burnish that center one. Then you'll take this front panel, you're going to fold it back on itself here on that center fold there at 2 1/8 to give us our Z fold. Now you can decide whether or not you'd like to adhere this down, or if you'd like to have it so it is an actual Z fold. You can adhere it so it opens just like this, but totally up to you. So your design, your decision. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do the inside of my card first. So I have the Cajun Craze panel and the basic white panel. So I'm going to go ahead and add here this basic white to the Cajun Craze here for the center. And on mine, I did not stamp a sentiment on the inside. You could do the Merry Christmas and Happy New Year stamp that's in there if you'd like, or use a different one from a different set. So I'm going to adhere this to the inside of my card, so pretty straightforward. Alrighty. Now, I'm going to close the front, and we're going to adhere this Cajun Craze mat here to the front panel. This is one of the, I think this is one of the easier fun folds where you get a lot of wow when they receive their card. It's just a really fun fold that they can, you know, enjoy. I think it's really pretty. All right, then I'll take my designer series paper and adhere that. Look at the back side of this paper. Oh my gosh, it's so hard to decide with these which papers to cut up or which sides to use because they're so pretty. So this piece will go here on my Cajun Craze panel, and this one will have just a little bit of a border. We'll have that 1/16 inch border there, right about there. Okay. All right, now since I have this space over here, now I can go ahead and put a couple of my foxes on there. You can see I fussy cut out just 3 of the foxes from the back of that tree papers. So these little guys here, there are bunnies, there's little bluebirds and moose and deer. So you can decide which foxes you would like to have. So I did this little guy here first that is facing the left. So he's going to go over here and he's going to go on first because he's going to go on flat, or she, I don't know. So I'll put this one back here and I'm going to put it a little up because I want it to be in the background. Okay. Then I'm going to take my fox that's sitting up and I'm going to grab a dimensional or two and we're going to pop this one up because we want this one to be sitting in the foreground, so in front of our little fox that's laying down there. So I'll set this one over on the right a little bit, bring it down like that. See that? How it gives you that dimension by just a couple of little dimensionals on there. Love that. Go figure. All right, my other little fox, I'm going to sit up here at the top while I work on my focal image. So for my focal image, I have this Cajun Craze circle. I love this stylish circle because I love this embossed part in there. I think it just really sets it off. So I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive here just on one side because that's what I'm going to adhere here to the front of my Z fold. So I'll move it above the fox and I'm going to just kind of put that right about there. And then you can see how quickly this card comes together. I'm going to bring my little white circle and my warm wishes and some Cajun Craze ink. Alrighty, finally got it straight. My warm wishes is here just below that center line, and I'm going to adhere this flat to my Cajun Craze circle. Right about there. And for this one, I did another little fox laying down, and I'm going to put this one right here with some dimensionals. So any of those little animals will do. I just love these little foxes. I think they're so stinking cute. We actually have a fox family that lives here in our neighborhood that we see quite often. So it made me smile. There we go. There's a little sleeping fox. All right, then you'll need your double bow and a mini glue dot. We will adhere that right here to our circle. And tuck those little tails in there. Just give it a little press, like so. There we go. And then we will add a couple of our little fine sparkle gems up here on the right side. So I'm going to use these Pool Party, the colors down here, right up down at the bottom there. I'm going to put three graduated, well, three down here. The sizes are big, small, small. Just add some color and sparkle up there and really gives it a little finishing touch. Whoop. Scoot over. You too. There we go. And there you have it. There is your Z fold card number 1. All done. All right, let's move on to card number 2. Alrighty, card number 2. So this one, I love this fold. This is just so stinking cute. It's called the double easel fold, but I don't know. I just think it's a fun fold. I don't know that that's what I would call it, but anyway. So you're going to have this little bottom piece that will tuck right underneath your little focal image there of your gnome. It'll sit straight up if you would like, but when you open it, this piece will sit flat also, just like that. So you get that little double fold there. Okay, so in your kit you'll have your Coastal Cabana card base. This one is 4 1/4 by 11. It's scored in the center at 5 1/2. You'll get a piece of the basic white. Now this one, it's kind of plays with your head a little bit, because normally, you know, we think about our folds going at the top of our pieces. This one, actually, the fold is here at the bottom with a score line right across here in the middle. So this one, let me look and make sure I can tell you how big this is. This one is 4 by 10 1/4. And it's going to be scored at 2 1/2 and 5. Okay, so 2 1/2 and 5. So it will fold in the center, and you're going to want to burnish that nice and flat. And then on that 2 1/2 inch score line, we will take and fold it back on itself, much like we did on the Z fold card. Okay, like that. Give it a nice burnish. Like that. So that'll be your piece of basic white. Alrighty, then you'll have a piece of Poppy Parade. This piece will be a little matte here on the front. Then this piece of Poppy Parade will be your matte for the little panel in the front. You'll get that decorative circle, and I went ahead and stamped my gnome. The 2 ink colors we're using for this one are Memento, Tuxedo Black, and some Poppy Parade. So I went ahead and stamped that. Then you'll have a Poppy Parade circle and a basic white circle. These will be for your sentiment. And then the 2 pieces of designer paper that you'll need to cut from your pack. This first one is going to be 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. And this little guy here will be 3 1/2 by 2. So this will go on the inside, this will go on the outside. All right, so we'll assemble those. All right, so let's get started. Let's assemble these. We'll go over the Stampin' Blends in just a few minutes. Let's get this going. Oh, and I forgot your gorgeous little sparkly ribbon there. Love that. All right, set these aside. Let's put this card base together first. So your basic white piece that we folded and scored is going to be adhered right here to the front of your card. So let's go ahead, put some adhesive on there, like so. And we're going to remember, we're going to have that little fold out at the bottom. So your fold is here at the bottom. So let's put that on your front, right about there, like so. Then on the inside, we're going to put first our Poppy Parade matte panel. Go right there. And I'm using some Seal Plus. Seal Plus and I now have a good relationship. We used to be not the best of friends, but now we're really good friends. All right, so there's our Poppy Parade panel. Then that piece of designer paper will go here on the front. Like I said, there are no bad patterns in this pack. It's so cute. Love it. This one will go here. Like that. Okay. Then we'll fold it up. Our Poppy Parade is going to go on here first. You know, the nice part about these videos is you can start them and stop them as many times as you need to. So no pressure to keep up with me. You can pause and go back and double check. All right, here we put this one here. And then our last piece of designer paper is going to go here on the front. Isn't that cute? Oh my gosh, I love it. I've really enjoyed designing this fun fold class for you. It was really, I had a hard time, first of all, choosing which folds to do because there were so many I wanted to do, but I had to be careful. All right, now let's go ahead and take our piece of ribbon. Over here on the right side of this little front panel, I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive because it's going to be covered up. I'll put the end of my ribbon there. Oh, let's move it up just a touch. There, that's good. Give it a press. Then I'm going to bring it around that little panel and then bring it over where it matches up and trim it off right there. Put a little bit of adhesive. Whoops. There we go. And we will adhere that down. Oops. Just like that. All right, now that'll leave you this piece for the knot. So I'm going to lay that aside until I put my sentiment over here on the right. All right, I'm going to take the Poppy Parade ink and my You Know Me So Well, and I'm going to stamp it here on my white circle. There we go. Put that away. Then I will put some adhesive here on the back of my Poppy Parade circle, because this is going to be adhered flat on top of that ribbon. Let's move that over. So we'll put this over right about there. Put that on flat. Then I'm going to take my sentiment and pop it up with 2 dimensionals. Like so. Alrighty, there's that. All right, now let's take our piece of leftover ribbon and we're going to just thread it up underneath the wrap that we did there. Like so. And we're just going to tie a little knot. Like this. And I know with postage, everybody's concerned about keeping their cards flatter, and I am all for that. So if you don't want to do a knot, totally get it. Do a little knot there. All right. A little trim. You know, for this one, I would probably do a little piece of cardstock on the front of the card when I put it in the envelope. Just put a little scrap of cardstock on there. That way it will go through the reader better at the post office. All right, so I'm going to bring back in our jewels, and on this little section down here, I'm going to use just 2 little pool party ones. One there. Let's do one down here, like that. There we go. So we'll set this aside. I'm going to bring in that decorative circle. So the colors that I used for the gnome are, oh, not that one. I need my cherry cobbler. Where did it go? I just pulled a red, not even thinking. Which one is this? Yes, look, I have a brand new pack of Poppy Parade. Ah, that's exciting. So, as you know, the blends come in 2 packs, a light and a dark. So I'm just going to use the dark for the little hat on our gnome. So let's see. We use the brush tip. And I'm just going to go around. I'm not going to worry about really blending light and darks together for this one, just for the sake of time on the video, but if you would like to, totally fine. However you like to color. It definitely doesn't have to be anything fancy schmancy, just like a coloring book. My goodness, I can hear Lynn's downstairs. She's singing and laughing. That's how she does breakfast. All right, let's see. There's that little brim, like that. And I am not the neatest color queen, so. All right, so I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to give him some puppy gloves too. Another one over here. And then I will give him this little section of his pants right there, right here, like that. Okay. Then for his nose, I'm going to use some petal pink. And for his little face here too, sorry. Little face. I love this one because he's kind of got his hand up on his forehead like, what was I thinking? Cutie patootie. All right. Then on the shoes, you can use crumb cake, soft suede, or the bronze, whatever you prefer. For this one, I'm going to use some dark crumb cake. I think on my other one, I might have used the soft suede. That's what I put in your tutorial for you. So let's switch it up and see how this looks. There's 1 and 2. There we go. Then we're almost done. We're going to use our light Night of Navy. And I'm going to do his jacket. Here's his arm, his other arm, like that. And then I'm going to use some smoky slate for his beard. Oh. That one's not very juicy. So you can see it goes by pretty quick when you just use the one shade. Like I said, I am not the neatest colorer. I usually just don't want to take the time because I'm always want to get to the next part. All right, there's that one. Oops, I forgot to do his mouth. So you can do a little bit of petal pink or a little bit of poppy in there for his mouth if you would like. Oh, and don't forget when you're doing the characters like this, it's always good to either use something for the ground, to ground them. Let's see, what did I have here? This is my soft light suede. So I'm going to do a little bit of ground. Like this, just to make sure he's not floating up in midair. Like that. Okay. Like that. And I forgot to pull out my book. Let's see if I have it in here. Oh, not sitting there. All right, now that I have that, I'm going to go ahead and adhere this here at the top of my card, and I want it to overhang this little panel just a touch because that's going to be the little stopper for our little easel part. So I'm going to put 3 little dimensionals here, like so, and overhang that just a touch, like that. And then we'll bring back in our gems, and I'm going to use 2 of the darker blue up here on the top panel, just to bring some more of the colors in. And the nice thing about this pack of gems is it's coordinated to go with this DSP, so you can't go wrong. All right, so there you go. There is our little, fun fold card. Ta-da! All right, card number 2, all done. Oh, you know what you can do? I forgot to mention this. I'm going to bring in some of the Coastal Cabana, or let's see. And maybe I'll bring in some Bermuda Bay. This is just an extra little thing you can do. I'm going to bring this in, ink up my little gnome, and then for the inside, because it's a lighter color, you don't need to add another layer of white, but I'm going to do that little gnome right here, tone on tone, like that. Isn't that cute? Okie doke. Now, let's call it done. All right, card number 2, all done. Let's move on to card number 3. Alrighty, let's move on. We are on adorable card number 4. So this one is a little pocket card, and really simple design, but really has a nice little wow factor, I think. So it comes out just like that. So what we're going to do is pull out our pieces. So we have our stamp with our gnome holding a little lantern. Then I have a piece of Night of Navy for my card base, 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of soft suede, 3 3/4 by 5 piece of basic white. Then you're going to have your insert, which is this little panel of Night of Navy and basic white. You'll have the decorative circle in white and one in Night of Navy. And then we're going to have our DSP. So for your DSP, you're going to want to make sure on this one that you're paying attention to the direction of the designs. So I have 2 pieces that are this tree pattern, and these are going to be used to create this pocket, okay? So I want to have one that I'm going to cut on the diagonal from top left to bottom right, and one that I'll cut from bottom left to top right. I can hear Layla squeaking her toy. Sorry about that. So I'll take both pieces. These are 3 3/4 by 3. So for the first one, for the left, I'm going to go from the top left to the bottom right and cut that. Just like that. Okay. And then I'll take the one for the right hand side, top right to bottom left, over here. And we're just lining up the points on the side of our trimmer, or on the groove in your regular paper trimmer, and I'll use the bottom part of that one. We can save these 2 pieces for later. All right. Then you'll need 2 other pieces, and I did these out of the light blue. It's kind of that sweater paper. These are 3/4 inch, 3/4 of an inch by 2, and 3/4 of an inch by 3 3/4. Okay, so that's all of our DSP. So let's start assembling. So I'm going to take my Night of Navy and my soft suede, and we'll go ahead and adhere this just like that, their border, like that. Then we'll take our basic white and adhere this. So I'll put this one on top here, and they both have that nice border around them, like so. Okay, this piece of designer series paper, the 3/4 by 3 3/4, is going to go right here at the top edge of your white, like that. Just glue that right here, like that. Okie doke. Then I'm going to, on here, I actually did stamp the Merry Christmas. Where'd my stamp go? There it is. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Here it is, right here. So we'll grab that. And and I will line it up on a block here on my grid. Now I usually use grid paper. This is actually a self-healing mat. You can find them. I get mine, I've gotten the last couple I've had at Tuesday morning. They have them really reasonably priced, and they are really nice because they wipe off, and I just really enjoy them. So I'm going to take some Night of Navy ink and my Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Ooh, that one is juicy. Try to get a little of that off of there. Don't want to catch an edge. There we go. Tap a little later. There we go. All right, so that's going to go here down. Oops, sorry, that's going to go. It looks like it's on the inside of the card, so I'm going ahead and doing it on my big white. This should go on the little white. Sorry about that. So this one's going to go right here on our basic white for the inside. Like that. Phew, good catch. All right, while we have the ink out, let's go ahead and stamp our small strip. We're going to do our sentiment this time on the DSP, and this one says Warm Wishes. So I'm going to stamp that in the same ink. Okay, through the magic of TV, it's now stamped straight and complete on your little strip of DSP. So I'm just going to go in and I'm going to flag the ends with a little V cut. You don't have to if you don't want to. It's up to you. Like so. Let me shorten that one a little bit. Stamped it over a little further. There we go. All right, there's that. So we'll go ahead and adhere our basic white panel. Is going to go on this little one of Night of Navy. Like so. And then we're going to put our Warm Wishes on with a dimensional or two. Or maybe an edge piece. That would be better. Love me some edge pieces. Put that on there, like so. And this is just going to give a little more interest, popping this up here on the top, like so. All right, there's that. Okay, we'll set that aside. I'm going to bring back in my card base and some liquid glue. And for this one, we're going to do just a really thin line down the side and the bottom of each of our triangles. So the one here for the left side, we'll get glue down there, and the one for the right side, glue down the right and bottom. So let's do the right one first. If I can get my glue to cooperate. Really thin, really close to the edge, like that. And it will go right here on your basic white, matching up the corners there and up the side, like that. Then we'll repeat it with the left hand panel. And it doesn't take a lot. You guys know how I am with green glue. It does tend to travel. Once you push it down, it starts to ooze out. So you don't need a whole lot. There we go. That looks good. All right, so there's our little pocket. Here's our inside panel. Okay, then it just slips right down in a little pocket, nice and snug. So the only other thing that we have to do is we will adhere our Night of Navy decorative circle. This is going to go so that it's right underneath the Warm Wishes here. So I'm just going to put a little adhesive right here on this V. It doesn't have to be very much. I'm using Stampin' Seal Plus, which will hold it just fine. So we want this to come up. Whoops. Like that. Up so it's under the Warm Wishes there in the center, like that. Give it a little press. Then I will take my twine, and I gave you a lot. So you're going to want to wrap it around your hand 3-4 times, whatever floats your boat. Here's that. So I wrapped it around, and I'm just going to gather it in the middle and kind of fluff out the edges like so. Then I use my tape. Where's my tape? I don't have any tape. Okay, let's just use Stampin' Seal Plus. So you're going to add a little bit of adhesive here in the center to catch all those little bits and bobs. Kind of spread it out. And then once you have your adhesive down, you will lay down the end, kind of catch that, and then the center, press that down. And the adhesive will still let you move it around if you want to. You can pull it off and reposition it however you'd like. Okay, like so. Then you will stamp your gnome in Memento Tuxedo Black right on your white decorative circle like that. And then you will color it, and you will put it on top of here with dimensionals. And I'm not going to color for you right now because I don't want you to have to watch that. So this will get adhered right here on the top, bringing it down just so you have that little Night of Navy there at the top, and it will be finished off. There we go. So just bring it down just a touch and glue it right there like so. And I'm gonna bring in my gems. I take your pick tool, and I put 2 at the top, so 1 on the left and 1 on the right. So 1 over here, 1 over here, and then 3 around our little guy down here. So we still have an odd number. 1, 2, 3. And there you go. So you will color your gnome, and you are done with card number 4. Alrighty, card number 5. This is that fun stand-up easel card. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut my DSP. So you'll need, these 3 panels are different sizes. So for this top one, the top one's going to be the larger of them. So when you fold them over, make sure you check. This is going to be the larger at the top. So large, small, small. So for the top one, you need a piece of DSP that is 1 3/4 by 3. 1 3/4 by 3 3/4. Okay, and this one's going to get cut on the horizontal from the bottom left to the top right. This will make that triangle. Right there. Okay. This other one I'm going to save for later for something else. Now, the next one, the next pattern, okay, the next one will be the Snowflake, and I'm going to cut this one from top left to bottom right. Start second guessing myself after a while. There we go. We're going to use the bottom part of this one, and we'll save the other. All right. Then you're going to need, I think I put in there that you needed 2 of those. You only need 1. I'm sorry. Okay, for the next 2 panels, we're going to take the 1 1/2 by 3 3/4, and these are going to get cut from bottom left to top right. Just line them up and give them a cut. Like that. We'll save the 2 from the bottom for something else. Put those right there. And then the smaller of the 2 snowflake pieces, these are going to get cut from top right to bottom left. line them up. I'll keep the top of these and use the bottoms. There we go. All right, now we're going to go ahead and fold on our score lines. All right, once you've folded on your score lines, actually, let me give you a little tip on folding on this. When you want to fold them, you're going to put your fingers underneath that fold, the score line here on the bottom, and you're just going to use that kind of as a base to kind of squeeze around as you go down gently all the way to the end. And once you get it pretty much, you know, gently folded, then you're going to go in with your bone folder or your fingernail, and you'll just crisp up those score lines like that. Okay. All right, now that we have those done, we're going to go ahead and glue on our designer paper. So we will glue on the top ones first, which are the larger ones. Okay. Now, once you have the larger of them, these two panels that are larger, you want to go ahead and do your bottom two. So I'm going to do those and I'll be right back. Alrighty, now we're ready to put our gnomes on the front of the card. So I've cut out 3 out of one of the pieces of designer paper. One has the taller hat. She's going to go on this one down here. And then I have the 2 with the smaller hats. So I put dimensionals just on the bottom part of under the score lines of each of the folds, and I'm going to bring my gnome over pretty close to the edge over here on the right hand side. I'm just going to give it a press, and then my next one will be, whoops, I had one stuck to it. Come here, little guy. Will be here in the center, and I'm going to bring him over just past this one here and press that down on the dimensional like that. And then my top one will go right up here. I'm going to bring it down pretty close to the line because you want to stay as close to the top edge there for the envelope sake as you can. Now they're sticking up because I've been playing around with them, so you don't want them to stick up that much. Okay, so there we go. All right, now the next thing we need to do is do our inside panel. All right, for the inside panel, I have my basic white piece here. I just stamped it, but I wanted to show you, I used my just the regular stamp out of the stamp set, but when I put it on my block, I curved it a bit. So all you do is just kind of anchor one end down, and then just kind of press. When you arc it up, you're going to just press the other end down and give the middle a press there too to kind of hold it, and you can have just a different look for your sentiment. So I think that's pretty cool. All right, the last thing we need to do is we need to put our little gnome stoppers on there. Okay, so we're going to put these down the center here, or down the right side, sorry. So I'm going to adhere my panel here so I can do a little measuring when we're gluing them down. We want to make sure that the easels are going to sit up in the right spot. So let's glue this in like so. And then we'll bring in a couple of dimensionals. And you're just going to use one dimensional on each of these, okay? So I'm going to put that on there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to close my card and fold up the easel like so, okay? And then I'll place one of my stoppers right there, give it a press so it holds that one up, and then I'm going to repeat it for the other 2. Alrighty, last but not least, we're going to embellish the front of the card. So you'll notice on the original, I did these little strips. They're just fussy cut out. I embossed them with white embossing powder. But I wanted to give you two different looks so you could pick what you'd like to do. Some people aren't fond of doing embossing, and I totally respect that. So here it is embossed. Here they are, it's just stamped in black, and totally either way works. So don't worry. If you pick one or the other, you're right. All right, so I'm going to take one of them down here. Also, I'm going to do it different because this one has dimensionals under them, and I'm going to do one flat so you can see it both ways. I want you to have options. So I'm going to put some glue on the back of this little one, and this will go across the front right here, like that. Then we'll do the red one in the center. Right about there. And then our little pool party one at the top. There. Okie doke. So there's all three of our sentiments on there. Then we're going to add the gems. There you go. What do you think? A little bit different, but totally works either way. All right, we'll move on to our last project. Hang tight. Alrighty, project number 6 is a gift card holder. So this is our 3D for this month. This is going to be the designer series paper that I use, but you can use whichever design you would like. Your designer series paper should measure 4 1/4 by 9 3/4. Okay, 4 1/4 by 9 3/4, and you're going to score it at 3 1/4 and 6 1/2. Okay, now the Happy Parade panel is our card base, or our gift card holder base. Then you're going to have a piece of basic white that's already been embossed. This is the new Whimsical Trees embossing folder. Love that. You have another piece of basic white that's for the inside, and also a little tag. Okay, so what you want to do is you're going to fold on your score lines, and I know it's hard to see mine, but they're here. So I'm going to fold that first score line back on itself, like so. Okay, like this, and I folded that back. Then on the next one, it's going to fold in right sides together. Okay, so you have that Z, see the Z? So fold the first score line back, and then this one is going to fold this way. Okay, now before I adhere anything down, I want to take a circle punch. I'm using a 1 1/2. You can use whatever size you have, but we need a little thumb hole for our gift card to be able to be pulled out. So I'm going to go in the center panel here, and I'm going to look at the left and the right, try to get it, you know, centered, and give that little notch right there. Okay, all right, from there we will take our card base and our embossed panel, and I'm going to put some adhesive on here and glue this down like so. Go. And then I'm going to take my piece of designer paper. I'm going to fold that back like that to create that pocket, and I'm going to put some glue down the side and across the bottom. I don't want any across the top because when I close it, I need that pocket to be open. Okay, so I'm going to take some glue, just do a thin line down like that, and across the bottom like that. Then we'll fold that closed and give it a press. All right. So there's our mechanism there for our gift card. So I'm going to take the completed piece, I'm going to put adhesive here on the back, and it's going to get adhered to our embossed panel with those whimsical trees. Just like this. All right. Now, for your tag on the front and for the inside, we're going to use some Pool Party ink and a little bit of Poppy Parade. You can change the sentiments if you'd like, but I am using the little girl gnome with the long braids. Love her. And we're going to do just a little bit of stamping. Let me put something under here. So I'm going to take my little girl, and she's going to go off the edge down here. I just wanted a little hint of it to follow through from my tag. You'll see the tag in just a sec. So I'm going to stamp off like that, and then I'm going to stamp off to the right and down just like that. Okay, see how light that is? Perfect. Now for my tag, I'm going to do the same thing. I want to ink it up like that. Stamp off, and then I'm going to stamp her on the tag off to the right, making sure I get part of her face on there. Like that. Oh, so cute. Now, what I want to do on top of the tag is I'm going to do my sentiment, which is the warm wishes. Let me, where's my thing? I'm going to do the warm wishes, and I'm going to do it in Poppy Parade. So let me get that inked up, and we'll stamp that across the bottom right about here, like that. Okay, and then on the inside of this one, we'll do that Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And again, I'm going to curve it, so I'm going to anchor the left side, press it down really nice and tight there, and bring it around like that. Okay, just gives it a different look. So I ink that up, and this will get stamped down here at the bottom. Like that. All right, so this panel is going to get adhered here in the center. Like so. There we go. And then on the outside, oops, I forgot to cut my little piece of designer paper. Let me grab that. All right, I noticed that I didn't write this measurement on there for you, but you'll need a strip of designer series paper. This is going to be this snowflake pattern in the background. It's just a little flag piece to pull in all the colors. This one measures 5/8 by 4 inches. And I'm going to go ahead and just flag the end like so. And then I will glue this down. This is going to go towards the left side over here. Right there, leaving some space to the left. And then I'm going to take my tag, and I have this really pretty balmy blue ribbon, and I'm just going to bring it through the hole in my tag like so. Bring those tails up to the top, and I'm going to bring in a piece of baker's twine. Now this is just going to wrap around the 2 tails of my ribbon there, and you can either tie a knot or a bow, whichever you'd like, to hold that together. So you want to pull it down towards the top of the tag there. I'm doing a knot. There we go. So then I'll trim this off. Like that. And then it will trim the tops of my bow like that. Then our tag will be adhered with dimensionals. And this is going to go over partially on that little strip of designer paper there. Right here. Like that. And one thing about doing your knot on your baker's twine, one thing that I've like to do to kind of add interest since I'm not doing a bow is I try to fray the end of it. So I just kind of twirl it the opposite direction to kind of get the fibers all separate on there. Just looks really cute when you do it like that. And it's very easy. You just separate the fibers and a little bit of interest there. All right, last but not least, we need to put on our gems. And on this one, I used 3 colors. I used a yellow, red, and then a blue. Whoops, come here. And a blue, like that. And there you go. This has got to be one of my favorite gift card holder designs because it's so cute and it's really simple to put together. It's really easy to cut them out because you can get 3 of them out of a piece of 12 by 12 designer paper. And look how cute that is. Isn't that fun? So there you go. That is project 6. So thank you so much for joining me for this Fantastical Folds class, and I will see you again soon. Until then, stay safe, stay well, and God bless. Thanks.